I got it written down. Oh, Islam, we are live.
Islam. First, I give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe. I give honor to His holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to everything that the prophet brought for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I give honor to my sisters on the panel. I give honor to our viewers, all those who are listening and watching, and who have taken the time out to join us again for another episode of Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. Tonight's topic is Growing and Unfolding in Islam, Part 2. Yay! I am Sister Ingrid Ill, Temple 71, Washington, D.C. Peace.
Islam. First, I'd like to rise and give all praises to Allah, honor to our holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and honors to my sisters on the panel, and honors to all of those who are watching or listening. Islam. This is Sister T. Hopkins Bay from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, temple number 11. Islam.
Islam. I rise giving praises to our Father God Allah, Father of the universe, giving honors to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors where honors due. I give honors to each and every one of you. My name is Tracy. My name is Sister T. Britt Bay from Washington, D.C., temple number 71. Peace.
Islam. First, I give praise to the great God of the universe. I give honor to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to everything that the sister said before me. Give honor to our guests. And my name is Sister A. Raven Obey with Temple number 21. Welcome to Girl Talk, Real Talk, Moorish Talk. And we are having a part 2. So let's jump on in. Why are we having a part 2? Because there are people out there that are probably wondering, didn't we do this already? What's going on?
Praise a lot. I think that we're having a part 2 because in our first episode on this topic, we felt like we had still had a lot more discussion to have. There was still, a lot of topics that we didn't hit. This is a hot topic. It really is, and I think we all can benefit from being able to expound more on this particular topic. Praise Allah. Islam, anybody else? Praise Allah. So I wanted to ask you all, what does it mean to you all to have matured in the Moorish Science Temple of America? Or have you all matured in the Moorish Science Temple of America?
Islam. That's a good question. I can look and see some maturity in myself, especially when it comes to dealing with challenges, dealing with my brothers and sisters, whether it's at work or out in the public. A lot of the things that I used to respond to, that I used to give attention to, that probably didn't even warrant my attention, or even the attention that I gave it. I can see I've grown a lot in that area. I take in consideration what needs attention, and why does this need my attention? Does it need my attention? I used to feed into a lot of things through my emotions, and not saying that I'm totally I've conquered that. I have not, but I have come a ways with that. I try to keep my emotions out of a lot of decision making when it comes to dealing with my peers. Um, I use my lessons a lot more today than I've ever done, because I never used to use my lessons. I used to just go straight off the as my brother Hawkins Bay say, off the cuff. So whatever was delivered to me, I would just immediately respond without even thinking. And today I'm learning to think, to use reason in my responses. Sometimes I fail, but even when I do fail, I'm able to make that speedy reparation. I'm able to see it, immediately, to make the correction. A lot of times I feel bad when I do get caught off guard. This is why it's so important that we stay in our lessons, just to try and keep ourselves guarded, so that we don't have to worry about being caught off guard. I heard the moderator was speaking yesterday in Sunday school, and he had talked about those cracks. When we have those cracks and certain things can get in. And I sat and I thought about that, and I was like, I got to even think about not having the cracks. But we don't always have everything on point at one time. But it's, let's say, once it gets in, say it did seep through the crack. Once it get in, the thing now is not allowing it to manifest. That's the thing. So that's where the continuous practice of my lessons helps strengthen me in my development, whereas though I can catch these things before they do manifest. I like how I am growing and developing in this movement. Peace.
It's I would definitely say I have matured in ways that I never thought that I could. I thought that it would be in me forever when somebody approached me in the wrong manner, that I would respond like, just alike, right? And I've had the experience of not doing that. I've had the test of attempted to be assaulted, and I literally walked away. Well, I attempted to walk away a few times, and that's something I've never done. That's something I've never done, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity, for the experience of walking away. Like, I can do that. I can do that. It was easy. It was so easy. Now, it wouldn't be fair for me to say that it ended with me walking away, but I did my very best. I will say that, right? And like the sister said, about letting, those things seep in the cracks, shake it off. Ask Allah to remove certain things. That's what I do. I ask Allah to remove certain things from my life that mean me no good. Give me some guidance and strength for my growth and development. Please help me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, these are just things I go to him about to help me get better. Maturing is knowing that I need some help in certain areas and asking for guidance to get to where I need to be at. Yeah. Peace.
Yes. Praise Allah. So for me, I would definitely say I have matured, but I feel like I still have some maturing to do. I feel like you're constantly growing and unfolding in this, in this walk, in this faith, because I think that, when you first come in, you have to be on that first step of belief. And then, after you've been here some time, you get up on that step of faith. And so I can definitely tell that there have been many situations that have happened in my life from when I have been in the movement where I could say, I just I just stepped out on faith.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like every situation doesn't deserve a reaction to it. And I definitely
Mhm.
feel like I have the way I respond and react to certain things now today is totally different from how I used to react to them before I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I'm grateful for it because, you know, the world is awry. And you never know how things are going in the direction that they're going with all the stuff that we see going on in this world. You never want to put yourself in a position to have harm come to you or anyone else. So I feel like, I've definitely matured because I think about things different. The prophet said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. So it's like when I think about how I handle certain things, all I can say is praise Allah that I can think with resolution on board.
Mhm.
How is this going to end? If I do this, how is that going to
Amen.
end? If I move like this, how is that going to end? No, we don't want it to end certain ways. So therefore, we have to control ourselves. We got to control our lower selves and keep it at bay. And praise the Lord for what the sister says. Sometimes you have to just walk away. Sometimes it doesn't deserve for you to respond in that moment. You just got to walk away. And a lot of times I think that I was told before, before being in the movement, like that's a coward move to walk away. No, it's not. It's an honorable move to walk away.
It's not.
You don't have to deal with everything that's put on your doorstep.
Mm.
So, maturing in this movement is definitely possible if you are, as the Sister Britt Bay said, if you are studying the lessons. You got to consistently study yourself. And you know what? You got to find out and know why certain things trigger you, what your buttons are. Because why do you have certain buttons that you are allowing other people to push? You got to control you. And trust me, it's easier said than done because I'm not all the way there yet. Like I'm 100% don't get upset or I don't have any low self-thoughts. I absolutely do because I'm human and I'm bound down to this carnal nature. But the reality is we got to keep working on it. We got to keep striving for that purity. Praise Allah.
Let me be the first to say it definitely isn't easy. And I by no means do I want to make it sound like growing up in the movement is easy. It definitely is. For me, it definitely isn't. And it makes me, it prompts me to think about when the prophet said that he had to go around his elbow to get to his thumb. That's difficult.
Mhm.
That's not an easy task. But the thing is, what you want. Do you want to grow up? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you want to change? Do you want to become stronger? Because I know me personally, I just get tired of my old ways keep coming up. I keep
Yeah.
dealing with things the same old way and keep getting the same end results. I want something different. And the one thing I can say about being in this movement and applying these lessons is the results matches what the prophet said it was going to be.
Yes.
It matches, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta want things to be different. And when you want it to be different, you put all that energy you in, the same energy you put into it to carry it out the same way you did it the old way. You take that same energy and you reverse it and you make it work for yourself. And it's such a great feeling when you do. Yeah, do I cry sometimes in doing it? Because sometimes it hurts. It hurts changing. It really does.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's rooted so deep. You know what I'm saying? So, and then everybody don't understand your change. Everybody don't care about your change. That hurts.
Yeah.
Some people want to see you where you were before. And they don't understand why you changed. They're like, it was nothing wrong. Yes, it was.
Right.
Yes, it
Right.
was.
Yeah.
We all are trying to strive for better. We want it to be better. And the prophet came to us in a language that we could understand and told us that we are not Negro, black, and colored. And that we are not these different things. And we have a nationality. And when you have nationality, you have pride.
Yes.
And if you think your conditions can be better,
Yes.
So that is exactly what I was going to say. Sometimes it's what we, there's ourselves, and then it's our condition. It's the same problem showing up on a different person. It's the
Yeah.
That's right.
same issue happening. And the prophet says in there, if you want to find your savor, you must look where? Within.
Within.
You got to
Within.
look within. If you want
You
to find
got to
your
look
devil, you
within.
got to look where?
Within.
Within.
That's
So,
Right.
when you ask that question, it's like we're constantly maturing and we're constantly growing because we're finding ourselves in a condition where man can solve his problems best.
That's right.
That's what the prophet said. That's why you're there.
Yes.
Now you got to figure out how to get out of that. And then that's
Mm-hmm.
maturity, and it just keeps going and going because this ain't the lesson of the day. Excuse me, it may be the lesson of the day that you got to solve for a really long time, but you got another lesson you got to keep solving.
That's right.
And you keep going solving. So
Right.
when you ask that question, I was thinking, as we grow, there's the next challenge is there. A soldier never knows his strength.
Yeah.
Get to the next battlefield and figure that out. Is it
Mhm.
controlling our emotions? Is it worried about gossip? Is it whatever that thing is?
Mhm.
We'll
Mm-hmm.
and we stay there until we figure it out. And so that's to me the maturity is to keep moving and keep pushing through.
Islam, and you said that this is a movement. This is a movement of uplifting the fallen humanity. We're supposed to be moving forward, upward, ascending. That's
That's
what we're
right.
supposed to be doing. That's what we signed up for in all
Right.
areas of life. That's what we signed up for when we received our nationality card. If you didn't know that's what you signed up for, you probably should have waited a little while before you joined. But praise Allah.
But praise the Lord, you're here now, so let's keep on moving. Praise Allah. Yes, man. This is real. Real.
So what
Yeah.
keeps you coming back, or what keeps you here in this movement? And I'm gonna kick it off because I'm gonna tell you what keeps me coming back. What keeps me coming back is my experiences
Mm-hmm.
and the discoveries of myself. When
Islam, sister.
the more I'm learning about myself, I know I have to be here.
Right.
The experiences, my experiences that I'm having and the end results from applying these lessons keep me coming back. Because I like the end results when I apply the lessons. It's what I don't like is when I don't apply the lessons, when I go off my own and I feel like I have the answer, and the end result have me sitting here feeling stupid, feeling crazy, feeling ashamed. I don't like them feelings. I don't. I think I've experienced those feelings enough before I got to this point. So I feel like the same way I look at when it's time to retire. When you're getting close to retirement, it's like I feel like I'm at this point in my life, in my mid-50s, where I should be smooth sailing now. I don't feel like I still should be going through all these turbulences like all the time. I feel like I did all that in my 20s, 30s, and part of my 40s. I feel like in my 50s, it's like smooth sailing. We about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm like working my way on to retirement. So I'm working my way back to my Father God Allah. It should be smooth. It should not be as rough as it was before I got to this point. It should not be. And if it is, I need to be questioning myself. It's something I'm not doing right.
Right.
So I love coming to my meetings. I really enjoy coming to my meetings. And when I can't come to my meetings, which will probably only be because most of the time, because I am at work, I look forward to 7:30 coming or whatever time something is coming on. I look forward to that time because I love getting fed. I really do. I love hearing my brothers and my sisters share and giving me another perspective of things, another way to look at things, because this thing is really working for me. So I like it. I like how it feels because it's working. It really is. So yeah, I'm gonna keep coming back. They say that in NAA, just keep coming back. Well, I keep coming back in this movement because I like the result. And my lower self always lets me know that, oh yeah, you ain't got it yet. So yeah, get on back up in there. Yeah.
Sis, I totally agree with you on, it works. That's it. When I'm faced with a challenge or problem and I can apply these lessons, it works. And it's interesting because, we are we have our set time to be in our meetings, but a lot of times we're not in those meetings, or we may not have the ability to be surrounded by this Moorish language all the time. And so when you hear a part of the world and what they're saying, and you get to hear what other people are saying or how other people are trying to solve their problems. And to me, it's a blessing when I can see someone or see something happening in a different way. I'm like, oh, that's how you're trying to solve it? Or let me try it this way. The prophet already had, this is the way I'm supposed to do it, right? Like, yeah, I can do it that way. And there's lots of other options for people. You can read the book, you can do the test, you can go to somebody else, you can try lots of different things, and you can still do it while being in the movement. But I know what works. And what works for me has continued to evolve too. Yes, it's in my meeting, but it's also being surrounded by people who are thinking about their own growth and movement. Because Allah uses man to man. And if I can, you can hear the sound, Right. So when we're in commune outside of the meeting, to me, that also, is a part of the maturity and growth I think of, is when I can get to touch somebody or someone outside of my meeting and they are speaking this language, that to me, because Allah uses them. And I know those words, and then and they just pull it from the Quran like that. You'd be like, yeah, you're right. Okay, I got that. It's important.
That's good, because I was going to say, being amongst those who speak the same language as you, listen, you could be out here in the world and people saying all kinds of things. They're saying all kinds of things. They're doing all kinds of things. And when you are able to get amongst your own, man, that's a feeling like no other. And trust me when I tell you, on a Friday evening, after I have been at work all week, I am exhausted. My children be back and forth to school, but guess what? When I walk into my holy place, I feel like, praise Allah, I made it. It's like, oof, like relief. Because that you're about to get, those divine lessons. You're about to get those encouraging words from, your leadership or your fellow brothers and sisters, and that's going to help you toil for the next 7 days until you get back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times someone else's testimony lets you know that you're not the only one going through certain things. See, that's one thing that we all have in common. We could, be a part of the Moorish Science Temple, forever. But the fact remains, when we walk outside, we still are dealing with that outside world. And we all keep coming back to the temple because we have hope. We have hope that there are going to be some things that are going to change. And guess what? The change starts with us individually. Because there are times when you may see a situation going on, or you maybe walking past, or there are times when somebody may see you. Your turban or your fez or your character or your personality is the light. It's the light, because they see it's a difference in how we act. It's a difference in how we react to things. So for me, teaching my children, first of all, praise Allah for being, in the movement with my helpmate, because I think that when we both go through certain things, we are I'm able to say certain things to him, or he's able to say certain things to me, and we're able to work out those problems together. Because sometimes you need a friend, and whether your mate is in the temple or not, sometimes you need a friend that you could talk to. You could just be 100%.
Exactly, absolutely.
Everything that you probably can't say to the people outside. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Some things, there's thoughts that we have, and to have somebody say, that's probably not the best way to look at it, or that's probably not the best way to think about it. It's a reminder. It's a constant reminder. And, even though, you may have been toiling through the week, and when you get to your holy day meeting, or you get to your Sunday school, whichever one you got into, you can have conversations about, well, this, because I know Moors, we love to talk. Moors, We always love to talk. Praise God. So
Thank
we
you for
can have
saying that.
conversations with each other and say, listen, I was going through this, that, and the third. And you can ask, your brother or sister, what should I do?
Yeah.
And the first place they will take you is to the Quran.
Yeah.
And that's something that you're familiar with.
Yes.
You're familiar with it. And so you're going to be like, praise the Lord, I should have thought about that. But sometimes you need that help. You need that help. So for
Yes.
me, is speaking the same language and having my children, I don't know about y'all, but I've definitely had to say to them, keep on working on your lower self, keep on working on your higher self. And to be able to say that to them, like,
Yeah.
you got to work that out. You got to work that out.
Yeah.
But that's the blessing. That's the blessing.
Yeah.
Praise Allah.
Some people ask, you you still in the temple? You still go to the temple? Y'all still in the temple? So on and so forth. Reason why I keep going because it is working and it feels good.
Yes.
It's a good feeling. I know I'm not the only one that when they get out of their car, when they get off the bus or when whatever, and they walking up to their holy place, they get that feeling inside, like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
home. And when you sit in your seat on a Friday night, on a Sunday afternoon, and you rubbing your hands like, yeah, this gonna be good right here. And the Moors are singing, the Moorish songs of praise, and the vibrations are
Yes.
high, and everyone's feeling good and looking good and smelling good and loving on each other. Why not? Why not
Right.
go there?
Right.
Anywhere else you feel good, you go to, right?
Yes.
Right.
So that's it for me.
Yes.
I feel good when I'm in my holy place. I feel good when I can't make it and I watch it virtual. I feel good. No, it's not the same as being in the temple, but it's close enough. That's what we got to do
Yes.
sometimes. When, like the sister said, sometimes we got to work. We can't make it, and and
Yeah.
praise Allah for the
Mhm.
media team who makes it happen for us every Friday and every Sunday.
Praise
When
Allah.
I be at work and I be watching Holy Day, and I have the type of job where I may have to transport some of my operators. And so on Friday, I try to always give myself somewhere where I can sit where I know that they can't have physical contact with me. So I sit in between the routes and everything. But let me tell you, sometimes I get stuck on a particular end of the route where the operators are getting, and let me tell you, I be having major attitude when they come to my car. And I know I'm wrong for this,
You're
but
going to be
I think it's for a good cause. They'll come to my car and say, Britt Baker, do you mind if I sit in the car? Because it's kind of chilly out here. And the meeting be on and the songs be going. And I really don't want them to get in the car because that is my time. Like, I just be so in tune. And I don't be wanting them to be in the car. And so I just wanted to mention this because when Sister Gray was talking about that excitement when you even walking up to the temple, and then when you get in and you get in your seat, that's just how I am when I can't be there. When I can't be there and I get situated on Fridays in my little car, let me tell you, I don't want nobody coming up. I don't want the radio to go off. I don't want nobody having no accidents because I don't want them to call me away from my meeting or none of that. It's like I just love being there. And then when I hear them singing the songs, I just be so in my zone, and it lifts me up when I'm at work. And soon as Holy Day is ended and I'm at work, I'm just on a high. I'm on a high.
Yeah,
It's like nothing can penetrate me. And I love
that's
that
right,
feeling. I don't
sis.
mean to talk so much because I was told I talk too much. I don't mean to talk so much, but I just had to get that in there when she was talking about the excitement that you have when you going. And just to any of the viewers that might not be in the movement, I don't know what your situation is, but it's such a beautiful feeling just to be in an organization like this. It really is. It's the
Yeah,
bomb.
yeah, yeah.
And it definitely feels like a safe space.
Yes,
It's a safe space,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Praise
And
Allah.
Sister Britt Bay, you
Definitely
keep
feel
expressing
safe.
yourself. Sister Britt Bay, you keep expressing yourself.
That's right.
Having a
Yeah,
problem too, because we need to
yeah.
express.
You keep expressing
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
Allah speak to you, and you feel like you need to speak. You need to get something off your chest. You holler at us.
That's
Praise
right.
Allah.
Praise Allah.
Yeah, that's
Praise
right.
Allah. Let me see. I'm sorry. Okay, so how do you all feel when you are? I gotta get my eyes together. All right. How do you feel when you are redirected or corrected in the movement? And how do you assist others when they are just coming in and don't know?
I feel like a little girl. I feel like I am 2 years old. Whenever somebody, and I know it be for the good, you know what I'm saying. Don't misunderstand me. Constructive criticism or correction, whatever, however you want to look at it, it's all good. It's just that I've never been one to receive it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just ain't me. And I've been taught to be able to accept whatever is true, not to give so much attention to how it's said or who said it. If it's true, this is just how I was taught. If it's true, then receive the truth. But when I am corrected for the good, no matter who is the person that's correcting me, I feel like a little girl. Sister Jones Bay had to correct me one day in Sunday school, and she did it so mildly, but I received it like everybody in the temple saw what she was doing to correct me. But guess what? That correction, when that time comes, I'm not gonna go into what she was correcting me about. But when that time comes, when we were in Sunday school, you best believe that it's pins down, hands down, and I'm attentive. That's a correction that I will never forget. And she got me on point. Praise Allah for the sister for it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just natural. I remember brother told me we was having this conversation, and he said, you know what? I could receive correction with a smile on my face. I said, oh, for real? He said, man, yeah, I love correction. I love correction. 3 days later, I saw the same brother at work. His head was down, face was just, not speaking a smile, not a happy moment. So I said, what's going on? And he said, nah, they didn't call me upstairs and they talked to me about some of my behavior on the job. I said, well, let me just remind you of a conversation you and I had 3 days ago. I said, this is why we're taught to speak with discretion and not be so quick to speak about where we are. I got it, I'm good, I don't have no problems with that. I said, because Allah definitely will show you. No sooner than we speak those words. That's why we have to be careful in what we say. Mm-hmm. So what I shared with him was the conversation that we had. I said, and you specifically said out your mouth that you receive correction with a smile. I said, and that's not what I'm saying being demonstrated on your face today, my brother. So, and he smiled and he said, praise Allah. Receive, sis, receive, sis, So, praise Allah. I don't know too many people that, praise Allah for those that can receive it with a smile on their face. I've just never been that one. It takes me, I have to get within myself and I have to allow whatever's been said or whatever the correct, I have to allow that some time to process. Sometimes it may even be a matter of me considering who this person was, because sometimes truth can be said, but it's what place was it coming from? Because it can come from a bad place. And we're taught that we have to be careful about that. We have to make sure that it comes from a place of love. So sometimes I have to take that in consideration. So that's why I'm not one to just off the top be like, well, thank you, praise Allah. I'm not her. It's gonna take me a minute. It just is. So I'm a 2-year-old when I get corrected.
Well, I do say. Go ahead, sis.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I will say thank you, but usually it takes me a minute to digest it, because if I didn't intend if my intentions of how I showed up was done not in an evil and malicious way, I'm trying to think, well, what did I do that was wrong? So first I gotta get out of my own vanity of like, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Then I gotta take a step back and then say, okay, and I actually will sometimes come back to somebody, because I've tried to do that when people say, when they correct me, I'll say, okay, come back to you on that, because once I get through the shock of it, of you just told me something that didn't make sense to me, then I gotta go back and think about it and maybe reflect about it. Maybe there's something I don't know. We have a lot of oral
Yes.
traditions, we have a lot of oral history, and some of these teachings have been passed down by voice, generation to generation to generation. So I don't know all of them, but it also got to make sense to me. And I got me in trouble when I was little. I need to understand why. I need to tell me why. Don't just tell me that,
Right.
you're not supposed to wear a yellow turban. Okay, but tell me why. Because I can wear gold, but I can't wear yellow. Wait, help me out. And then someone did explain to me once, they're like, well, yellow brings up the vibration of sadness. And so therefore I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, when someone explained to me about that, or different things, I was like, I remember I was young when that happened. There was another topic where women, some sisters, they were saying that you couldn't wear pants. And I was like, well, why not? So I have to ask questions to understand. And so if I get questions or feedback, I usually like to know why. And so if I'm correcting, or if I feel the need, because there is a need of like, is it the right time or the place to tell somebody? To me, that's discretion. Sometimes you may see something, but it's not the right time. It's not the right time to say it to somebody.
It's not. It's not.
Figure out what that time is, and then when it is the right time, then you got to make sure that you are. At least I try to be like, okay, I got to say this with much love, and sometimes I have to say I'm coming with you in love. I'm trying to share with you what I know, and this is what I know. And this is how. And you do whatever you want to do with information, because that's all it is information. Do what you want.
Right.
That's right. And y'all are absolutely right. It depends on where they coming from. Is it coming from high, or is it coming from low? Was it worth saying to me? Who was around when you said it? Could you have held fast for a moment? All those things matter to me, because most of the time, if it's somebody I'm familiar with, have a good rapport with, and they say, Sister Grinnell, you wasn't supposed to do A, B, C, I be like, oh dang, my bad, brother or sister. Well, thank you for the pull up or something like that. But if I feel that it's coming from a low, because it could have been coming from a high, but it might be just the person who giving it to me that I'm not really feeling. You know what I'm saying? Listen, one thing I'm gonna be honest with, one person I'm gonna be honest with is Brit Ill, right? For a fact, right? And sometimes certain people will come to me, and it's not so much what they say, is how they delivered it to me. That may make the hairs on my neck stand up, and I have to rest my finger on my mouth and not say anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but then I'm the type of person that either I'll address you later, or I'm going to start dealing with you accordingly, because you can't keep coming to me in this manner and like, what's the problem? So it all depends on all those things I just said. For the most part, I feel loved when someone is correcting me. They care.
Right.
They care. Thank you. That's the main feeling I get. But there are those times when I'm side eyeing someone because I don't know what was their angle that they even said that to me for. So praise Allah that we are still growing and unfolding.
Praise Allah. I agree with you all. I think that just speaking to what Sister Ingrid Ill just said, if you are familiar with someone, right, it's better, you can better know how to digest certain things. So if someone is, correcting you or redirecting you or whatever the case may be, first of all, you have to recognize, were you at fault for whatever it was? Or was it something that somebody just didn't like your outfit? For me, am I in love, or are you, or did you just not like something? Or how did you, as it was said before, how did you deliver it? See, we have to operate on our principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Yes. So when you say something to someone, you have to speak it in a manner where, whether you know the person or not, you're giving them the best that's within you. have to, regardless if they give you of anything otherwise, you got to give them the best that's within you. So to me, you have to be careful of how you deliver stuff. So you can deliver somebody a beautiful 4-course meal, but if it's on the lid of a trash can, they're not going to be able to eat that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we have to be careful with how
It's
we
long.
give people, here's the thing, because I know for me, we have people that say, well, I was just giving you the truth. Just because it's the truth doesn't mean you have to deliver it any type of way. You still have to, give it to the person in love. You
That's
still have to
right.
be kind. You still have to be
Yes.
humble.
Yes.
And if you are
Yes.
humble, then the person that you are redirecting or whatever you're trying to do, they will feel that humility, but they'll also feel that sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that we have to be careful in how we approach each other, even when we are trying to tell someone about themselves or
Mm-hmm.
help them do whatever the case is. Now, when it comes to the latter half of my question of how do you assist others, we have had visitors come to the temple or people proclaim or, you know, they didn't know, because you got to remember when you didn't know. If they
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about specific things, try your best to tell them, when you're by yourself with them or, in privacy, so they don't feel embarrassed or anything like that. And I think that should be generalized for all of us, because anytime you're coming into something that is different or not what you are used to or accustomed to, and you have to learn how this group of people do things, you want to be told and you want to understand, and you may not have any malice or disrespect in your heart, but you probably just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to give somebody that information, give it to them with the most love
Mm-hmm.
and kindness that you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking on our principles real quick, it's not thinking about justice. It's not just to treat somebody any type of way, to
That's
talk
right.
to them any type of way, just because they don't know or they didn't know, or you may have been here longer than someone else, or whatever the case may be. That's not being just. So my thing is, if you're going to um adhere to some of the principles, we got to adhere to all of them. It
Mm-hmm.
can't just be what fits you at that moment. We got
That's
to adhere
wrong.
to every last one of them.
That's
Sis,
right.
when I am so with you, and I think the first principle that we've been introduced with, and I've been thinking about this, love. You
That's
know,
right.
That's wrong.
and
Yes.
he said,
Yeah.
we got to learn to love. He didn't say, well, you need to love. He said you need to learn to love. And I always
Exactly.
pause on that. Or I recently I've
Right.
been pausing on that, because people have the assumption that when I'm saying something that I'm loving, that don't mean you're loving. You got to still learn to love. And
That's
Right.
when
right.
you're delivering that feedback, when you were saying it made me think about generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I grew up, there was a generation where this is what it is, da, 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 this is how you get it, And for me personally, if they were my elders, I would try to respect and honor them. But there was always an inquisitive person inside of me. And my mother, I'm like, Mom, why did they tell me that I got to do it this way? Because you tell me how to be done this way, but why they telling me, with the iron, stick that's happening? And I think about how we all are, to the word, maturing in the organization. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're maturing as an organization of how to use or show that expression of love. Not everything
Mm-hmm.
has to be done for me. I used to, I was just telling brother the other day, when I was young, I brought people that I was dating in the temple, because to me it was important that they understood exactly what they were going to get. And there were times where they got beat up, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna bring back. My dad don't even do that. Why are you all here beating up? You not this or you not that or whatever, you're not Negro colored. And when we are speaking to people, it's so critical, particularly if they're not in this movement, to
Right.
live the lesson, not speak it, live.
Right.
It's long.
Living the lesson of love means I speak to
Yes.
you differently. Living the lesson of love means I don't expect you to know all the things on your first year. I don't
Right.
expect you to remember. And when you ask the question, how do you do it? How do you communicate? I actually shy away from giving people feedback because I feel like there's enough people that are going to give the new person enough feedback. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I feel like sometimes we bombard
Mhm.
people with a lot of information. It's like when you go when you learn a new language or you learn a new way to cook. I try to learn to make a pizza during the pandemic and I got like 10,000 recipes. And I was like, I don't want to learn to make pizza. I know this is supposed to be easy, but it was just too many options and too many people telling me what to do. And I just, and sounds so simple, but
Mhm.
it's the same thing. When people are coming in, you have to remember that they are coming from wherever they're coming from. And for me personally, the spiritual growth is much
Right.
more important than the physical growth. I'm not saying it's not, but for me, the Quran said in the top of it said, know thyself and thy father God Allah. Those
Mhm.
are the two main things that we got to focus on helping them have that relationship with that focus with themselves and Allah. And all the other things will come to them, with growth.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if they don't know themselves or they don't start to see a difference, they're there to change their life. They're there for that growth and they don't see that growth and development or that closeness with Allah and that what that love means,
Mhm.
it's really hard to do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Sister Hopkins Bay, you said something about when someone is delivering the truth. And I
Mhm.
always say, you don't have to be ugly to deliver truth. Truth
Mhm.
is what it is. It's all it's by it, it holds its own. If it's truth, you don't have to be mean and ugly or disrespectful to deliver truth. What does because when you deliver it that way, it gets tainted. The person can't receive that if you coming from a low place, a place of low vibration.
Mhm. Praise Allah.
And they can
You
feel
know,
that
I'm
spirit.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I've never been too good at kind of sort of being the one to I don't want to say speak the truth to someone, but redirecting someone. Um, I'm kind of coming out of my shell with that. That's always been a touchy thing for me because a lot of times uh, it's not always received well. I've even experienced it, even when it's done and it's coming from a place of love, and it not being received well at that particular moment. Because I never want to come off
Mhm.
um, as if I'm trying to insult you or hurt your feelings in any way. So,
Mhm.
my former life, I never spoke up on things that I probably should have in
Mhm.
redirecting somebody. And then being here where I am now, like I said, I'm slowly coming out of that. And what helps me, the times when I am able to do it, what helps me to do it is the fact that I have to think in terms of, am I my sister's keeper
Mm.
in whatever it is I'm about to redirect her in? Because I don't
Mhm.
do a lot of redirecting with brothers, but I'm gonna say with the sisters, you know, that's the only way I'm able to do it, and making sure that it's my heart is in the right place.
Right.
Asking myself those questions like, do I need to do this? Is this my place to say this to this sister? And if it is, make sure that it's coming from a good place. Um, because I take on other people's feelings, I take on other people's emotions. And the last thing I want is for someone to walk away from me feeling some kind of way. There have been times where I have to just say to myself, okay, I know that that came from a good place. And although it wasn't received well, I just simply have to put it in Allah's hands. I've also experienced it that way. And later on, that same individual came back in love and they did receive it. They had to just let it process. Same way I
Mhm.
have to let it process when it's done to me. So
Right.
that's just me being the one to redirect a sister in any way. That's a touchy one for me. That really is. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, I don't want to be the one to say. I hope I don't have to be the one to, you know what I'm saying? Although,
Mhm.
you're still coming from a good place. It's just some things that may have to be said. It's like it's no good way or bad way to say it. It just has to be said, and it could be uncomfortable. It could be an uncomfortable feeling to have to be the one to say it. You know what I'm saying? Even though you know you coming from a good place to say it, sometimes it's still kind of uncomfortable for the person that has to be the one to deliver that. Yeah.
Right. But I also think that we can't be too bold either when we're going to deliver something
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, if it's coming from a good place, you can feel that humility when it's being said to you. If you know have somebody that's like that doesn't know you from a can of paint, and they like, oh well, you're not supposed to do this, that, and the third. You like, why? It kind of it hurts your pride a little bit. And it's like, well, where was the love in that?
Yeah.
Where where was the honor in that? Because when man honors man, man honors a lot. So where was the honor and the love in that whole demonstration? You know, we have to pay attention to the vibration that we are giving off. And the vibration, first of all, be aware of the vibration that you're carrying, and then be aware of the vibration that you're giving off, because sometimes others can feel it and it can throw their vibration off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yes.
that didn't have to go that way. It didn't have to happen that way if there was just a little bit of love, respect, humility on board. And when you say my sister keeper, it's that honor. It's that we honoring each other, you know?
You know, sis, when you were saying it, it just, you know, I've heard people say, well, you have to have courage enough for the truth. That's their rationale for how they speak or say things. And, you know, that one, it rubs me a little bit. That doesn't feel good when people use that as an excuse to say the way you said. You know, it's like you do have to have courage. But the fact that you need, in my opinion, and the reason why you need courage is because you have to figure out how to deliver the truth in love.
Right.
If you can't deliver that in love, then you need to sit down. But to me, courage is really about, how do I say this to someone in love in a way that they will really hear it? Because if you really want to help somebody, or you really want to help them, you're not just trying to tell them the information. You're trying to find a way, that's the best way that you
to
think
help resolve it. Yeah.
But you just can't say something just to throw it out there and be like, well, I did my part, I said it. You got to actually come in and think about, well, how do I think Sister Hopkins Bay is going to receive this? Oh, wait, I don't know her. Oh, wait, well, then I need to think a little bit more differently about how I'm going to.
Yeah.
There you go.
How am I going to tell someone else? You know, so to me, that's love. And I feel like why it's so important to love is that, you know, we all have little, you know, children in our lives, and I'm just going to use that as a common thread. And when we are delivering message to people that we love, sometimes we have to think about how we're going to say it to that person so that they can receive it. But we love this person, care about them, and you know that comes so instinctually, so naturally. But when you don't know that person, or you didn't grow up around that person, you have to realize that you still have that same responsibility to deliver to them with love. You know, and if you don't do that, then what do you think is going to happen? You're actually causing more destruction and frustration.
That's right.
So if I don't know the way to do it, you can ask permission. You know, come to somebody. You know, I have saw something, I wanted to tell you what I know, or you humble. At least I do. Sometimes I have to humble myself. It's like, listen, I'm gonna share with you what I know. Doesn't mean it's right. This is what I was taught. This is what I was done. You know, I was told to do it this way. You may want to take that for yourself and figure it out, and let your soul dictate to you what's right for you to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not me. But I'm gonna share the information. But I'm not here to, you know, drive the hammer down.
Right.
You know, sister, someone shared with me, and it was a sister. She shared with me that when you're doing something like this, like in redirecting or confronting someone with something, try to avoid the word "you," as in pointing your finger, because when you all the time, it can strike up an argument. So I even think about that even when I'm addressing people. It might have been somebody that done something wrong. So I have to think about not coming off with the word you, because you sometimes can come off like you pointing your finger. So I take that into consideration, just the words that I use too,
Yes,
and
mom.
if and when I'm in that position that I have to redirect.
Yes, mom.
Islam, great. I
Great
thought you
topic, great
yeah, I
conversation.
was because I was gonna say, I didn't want to interrupt the sister, but I was gonna say, for me, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like if you have been in the movement for quite some time and quite some years, especially if you've been studying yourself, when your low is coming up and you about to say something that ain't right. You can feel it. You can feel that vibration. And I think that, and first of all, I just thank Allah and thank the Prophet, because consistently studying myself, I know better. But at the same time, I'm not a person that always 100% gets it right. So when I do something that I know I need to apologize for, or I need to go back and fix and correct, that I go back and do it. And I may go to a person and say, sister or brother, I apologize. I did not intend to come off that way. I didn't mean to, hurt your feelings, or I didn't mean to, whatever the case may be. It's making a speedy reparation. And I think that we have to become more accustomed to doing that when we have wronged someone. When you have done something to somebody, it's not okay to just be like, oh, well, they'll get over it. No, that's not what we doing. We trying to, do the best that we can and be better. As the sister said earlier, we're trying to uplift. You can't uplift if you got the disposition, oh, well, that's you. You just gonna have to deal with it. Nah, we can work that out. We can do better with that.
That's right. There was a time when and I'm going to say a lot of us, just because I know a lot of us had come from a place where to be humble or to be kind or to be apologetic was a characteristics of a coward, or you was being a sucker, right? I'm going to just use that word, being a sucker, when you're just being nice. How when I say the glory and shame has been misplaced, when we talking about that, it really has been misplaced like that. The feeling of being kind and humble and going to someone in truth with love, that feeling should outrank any other feeling. Right. I mean, for me, it does. If I know that I've harmed someone, and it don't start when I think I did, it starts when they feel that I did.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It starts when they feel that I've done. And so I have to evaluate what I said, why I said it, then go to them, brother or sister, I humbly apologize. I didn't mean it to come off that way. This is what I was trying to relate to you. And I'm so sorry that you didn't take it that way. But trust and believe me, I didn't come from a place of evilness. I really did. So it's nothing wrong for me. And I hope for none of them ills or bays to feel like a coward, to humble yourself and apologize. That feeling, I mean, y'all felt it before. You know what it feels like. Don't it feel good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know we only have 2 minutes, so I know we got to wrap up. I just got this one thought that was speaking to Sister Great Hill. The beauty, I think, of being in this movement, I want to talk about maturity to that first question, is also the understanding that not everybody's at the same level of growth. Even if you've been in the temple for a long time, everybody's not at the same level of growth. Everybody's not learning
that's right.
The way you doing it. But even if they haven't learned the lesson, which I have to always remind myself, even if maybe they don't have the lesson, I expect them to have that lesson figured out. Exactly. I still have to figure out how to stay in my higher self. Because maybe they haven't figured out that the way they need to move it is a different way. And we see it differently. When man unfolds, his God unfolds.
Yes.
And so as I
Mhm.
continue to unfold, my God unfolds. And while that
Yes, Lord.
person's man's is unfolding, their God's unfold. So we're all, the beauty of this movement is we're unfolding. We're all in different places unfolding, but at least
That's
we're,
right.
Mhm.
but in the minute we stop moving, we're not unfolding.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Praise the Lord.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Well said.
This has
Anybody
been a
have any
good
last closing?
conversation.
I think you hit it. I think you hit it on the head, sis. I don't know if
Yes,
anybody
you
else does,
did.
but you
Yes, you
hit it.
did.
Well,
Absolutely.
I just want to say I'm really glad we did a part 2. For the viewers, we came out of that last one and said we didn't even scratch the surface. So we had a part
Mhm.
2, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Yes.
We are so thankful to have you here. We also want to just celebrate some few things that happened. Thomas Bay, you want to talk about what happened on the 14th?
Praise the Lord. So we had our Remembrance Day, our trek back into history in Philadelphia. It was on Friday, October 14th. And I just want to, send high honors to all the Moors that came near and far to Philadelphia to walk and to celebrate with us. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. And just, I think
Praise God.
yesterday, Temple number 71. What happened, sisters?
We had our
We had
charter
our
day.
day. Yes.
Praise the Lord.
46 years.
I didn't make it, but we had our charter day. 46
It
years,
was
yes.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Praise Allah.
Praise
So
the Lord.
beautiful events that are happening across our country, our nation. For those that are following us, again, you can see us on Friday. We have our Holy Day meetings. You can probably find a temple that you can walk into if you go on our website and our locator. But if you want, you can find them straight online and watch our service. Also, Sunday we have our Sunday school lessons, and then this week on Wednesday, Brother and Sister Adams Bay, Universal Love. You have to watch it. It's coming up. They got a nice show that's coming up. And then next week, Sakara Healing is coming on. And so we have a lot to offer and hopefully for you all to participate in, and tell a friend and subscribe and share. With that, I say thank you all for joining us. Peace.
Thank you,
Peace.
Moors. Peace.